and collaborate on some things, such as how Drake allegedly did with Quentin Miller.
Yeah, now, so we gonna get into that because that shit is you know that interview, the OVO.
Yeah, that OVO.
Yeah,
interview.
that shit was kind of nuts.
Can you believe that cat was like, everybody accused him of ghostwriting. In that interview, he's like, no, it's a collaboration.
Dog, and the whole thing, I'm gonna tell you, it sounded so great. It sounded so great. My nigga, a collaboration is when you and he said we did some tracks together. You have not heard a motherfucking track with Quentin Miller and Drake on it at the same time. But you have heard a reference track of Drake spitting the same words that Quentin Miller spit.
Let me cook real quick, because I'm hearing you, I'm with you. This is what we have to understand about Drake, because we're trying to hold him to a standard that he doesn't fit into. And I will explain this in detail, okay? In order to understand Drake, you have to, what Drake is, you have to understand the relationship between pop and hip hop, okay? For example, if you're a hip hop artist, all right, and you blow up and you go pop, you're a fucking sellout, right? You can't go pop and then come back hip hop if you're a hip hop artist. That's it. You know, take a look at will.i.am. Take a look at Flow Rider. You know what I mean? These are cats that came up rapping. They went into pop. They can't come back and start doing backspins and graffiti and shit like that. It just ain't happening.
That shit did anyway.
Now, let's take a look at how pop goes, right? Pop stars on the way up, super huge, right? To give them the additional push, they dip into hip hop culture.
Miley.
Where shit is cool at.
Katy Perry.
They get their buzz up. They get their fan base up.
LMFAO.
They pillage the fucking culture.
Macklemore.
And then they go back to
Macklemore, bro.
But then they go back to making their motherfucking pop records. So in order to understand Drake, you have to understand that he is a pop artist that raps. When you understand that he is a pop artist that raps, you understand why he operates the way he does. Right now, we're trying to hold him to a standard where, he's top MC, but he doesn't write his own shit. No, he's a pop star. He's an R&B cat. Everybody's writing his music. He may be sitting in the room. That's why he refers to it as a collaboration. When I heard him say he collaborated with Quentin Miller, it put it into perspective for me. I understood it immediately. You, sir, are a pop artist. You're an R&B artist. That's how R&B and pop artists operate. They have those people in the room putting those songs together with them. They may be a part of the process, but when you look at the credits, it's always like 31, 40 people writing one song.
31, 41.
Well, I will say this. Kanye West's, that song he did with Paul McCartney has 31 people on it.
That's Kanye. Kanye worked on one song for 2 years.
Right. But that's what you guys have to understand about Drake. Now, whether you agree with him being a rapper, or you agree with him being in the top, or agree with him being better than any of the other rappers, that's completely up to you.
I'm gonna tell you where the discrepancy come in with that.
Go for it.
You know, because everything you say, I agree with 100%. You see me on record saying, you know, we're not gonna put him in no best rapper, you know, category or conversations no more, because it's confirmed he has ghostwriters. So that's not what he is. Not anymore. Most of his biggest hits are pop hits. Hits with him just singing all over the track, no bars. Where the discrepancy comes from, so far, not even so far gone. Room for improvement, all rapping. Not one bar saying. Comeback season, you know, he sang on like two tracks, all rapping. So, go ahead.
I know where you're going with this. My argument there, what do the albums look like? You're telling me about mixtapes. I get it.
I mean, come on.
I get it.
So let's go to the album.
What do the albums look like, and what do they sound like, and what do they flow like? You know what I mean? Because when he sits down to write those albums, you can see the writers in the credits. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go. Like I said, let's go. He didn't have no artist when he did Thank Me Later. So Thank Me Later, most of that was him.
Okay.
Now, after that, Take Care was after that. The Weeknd has admitted that he gave half his album up for Drake to have Take Care. Mm-hmm. Now, that's cool because Weeknd is a singer, and that is how singing artists work. Beyonce barely writes shit, if anything at all. Mm-hmm. She has songwriters, so that's cool. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. Drake does those, he sings. So he started to, he was doing songwriting for other motherfuckers. And in that interview, I figured out that he was actually ghostwriting for like Dr. Dre doing the detox shit, so he's known for his pen and stuff like that. I'm not going to discredit his whole legacy and everything, but him dipping and dapping into all of that shit, getting them other people like Madrid Jordan and all them to write for him and stuff like that. He took that and he let it trickle in to his raps. He let it trickle into it. He thought, I'm doing this. Nobody's ever going to know it's safe. I'm still going to be the best guy, so I'm still going to be number one. Nobody's ever going to find out. And that's what it was. Now, when he got in the interview, it's just funny, like how he worded everything. And it was just like, dude, it sounds great. And if you put it on paper, it looks good, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is.
I think, but that's why people are allowing him to be an anomaly, and they're looking at him and they're scratching their head like, I don't understand how you can try and be the top rapper but you don't write your own raps. My dude, he's a pop star. He is doing what pop stars do. Yeah. That's it. You know what I mean? MC Hammer, all the millions he made, he's not on anybody's top rapper list.
Yeah, and that's we
don't even debate him. And I feel like Hammer, correct me if I'm wrong, may have wrote the plurality of his shit, very similar to Drake. So,
now, this nigga, he also talked about the beef with Meek and everything, Yes. And he didn't know where it stemmed from and all that stuff, and that he would never be friends with him again, I
thought that was the realest thing that he said, by the way.
Yeah, and one thing he said out of that, which is what cats fail to realize, which is why rap beef is so serious. Like, if we talking about a local level, it is what it is. But even on a local level, niggas can still get punched and shit like that. Yeah. But when we talking about he said, like, this nigga discredited me. He did all this shit. He basically trying to take food out of my family mouth off of my fam. Like, he's trying to take food away from my family by making these allegations. And the thing that really killed Drake is that he didn't do it through rap. He did it all through tweets. So he wasn't really feeling that at all. And I understand it and I feel him, like, because that's not how you supposed to rock. That's not how you supposed to operate. But that's how come shit can get so drastic, because you basically going at this nigga neck, and it's not friendly. It's not friendly. You could end this nigga's career. He could be back at Target. He could be at Target.
But to me, that was the realest thing that he had ever said. Like, in relation to that, especially with him being so quiet in recent months. Just not sounding off about it, just basically doing back-to-back and doing a slew of, like, petty things online. Like, for him to actually come out and be like, there's no way that we could reconcile and be friends down the road based off of, where this stemmed from in the relationship that we kind of had prior to this. We was all good and I was doing a lot for you. So I thought that was one of the absolute realest things that he said. In relation to that. I
mean, I don't think there was too much else from that interview worth talking about.
Yeah, there was one thing. He talked very briefly about the Grammys. He won the Grammy for Best Rap Song for Hotline Bling.
True.
And he expanded on that. And I feel the same way. Like, he was like, I don't know why they gave it to me. I feel like there are gatekeepers in the industries that pigeonholed me to that category, because even though it was a pop song, the pop categories are meant for like the Taylor Swifts and the Miley Cyruses and the Nick Jonases and all of that shit, and the Adeles and all of that shit. Whereas they didn't foresee that happening, so they still have to acknowledge it. So they put me in the rap category, whether it's that I rapped in the past or whether it's because I'm black. He doesn't know why they did that. And a very good thing that he said about that is, the Grammys, we don't necessarily need to look at that as a benchmark in our culture and in our career that we need to validate ourselves as musicians. He gave a big up to Chance. Chance did it real big as an independent artist. They changed the rules for him to get in and get the Grammy and to clean up like he did. I thought that was awesome. but I think Drake has a very valid point. I noticed it even at a local level. Like, people put a lot of stock into these awards that at the end of the day don't mean shit for your career.
You want to know what's funny? Drake said, I can't remember what he said exactly, but he said something along the lines of, you know, it's been times where to go to the Grammys, I done canceled shows, and I done canceled shows just to go and sit and lose. Like, just for your ratings, just for your, like, you know, just for y'all to be good, get y'all ratings and shit like that. But it was 30,000 people in a city that wanted to see me that couldn't see me because I came here to lose. Right. I came here to dedicate time to y'all because y'all wanted to see me lose. Now, as far as Chance really, like, you know, I don't necessarily feel or like Coloring Book, but, you know, it a lot of people do. It's definitely unique as fuck. And he really cleaned up at the Grammys. And also, you know, he is right now the guy when it comes to, you know, looking at the independent lane as far as the rap game. Mm-hmm. Before that, I would say it's Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
But, you know, Chance just turned down a $10 million deal, you know, just to stay independent.
But is that, you know, that looks good on paper, but is that real? Like
I mean, when we say real.
What was the deal? Who was the deal with? Who did you turn down?
I mean, I can't say. It was from a legitimate source.
Okay.
I'm not getting that off of, you know, motherfucking cornflakeman.com or nigga that's crazy.com.
Got you. I follow you. But I think, you know, for people like Chance, you know, it does give us some hope. You know, those are things that, you know, we do aspire to have. You know, acknowledgement for your achievements and recognition is always good. But and I've been saying this for years, man, you know, an award. And we've seen it at the local level. Like, people got nominated for stuff. I'm not necessarily going to say what they got nominated for, but they would go around and they would put that they were nominated for this and that on their motherfucking album covers. And it wouldn't help them sell any more music than what it was that they was already selling. So, you know, that, you know, just saying, oh, I have a Grammy, like, it's just an adjective. It's kind of like saying, oh, this person's a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But it doesn't even hold that much weight. Because
I was about to say, it's not even a title. It's like saying this guy's a doctor with a PhD. It's like, okay, he's still a doctor.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? It's still the same thing. It's not going to drastically change your income.
I don't fuck with the Grammys, man. They don't really fuck with the culture. They ain't been fucking with the culture since this nigga ODB had to run up on stage when Puff Daddy and the family won the Grammy. It's like, Wu-Tang for the kids. Wu-Tang for the kids.
Hey.
Man, they used to go ham at the Grammys, man.
Fuck the Oscars, though. The Oscars is tonight, man.
Man, I don't fuck with none. I don't fuck with no award shows, really. I really say fuck the Grammys. I don't fuck with the Grammys because they really get it wrong. After the whole Iggy Azalea shit and the Macklemore shit, I was like, I'm really done with you niggas. And even then, you know, for the longest, they just don't be getting it right. So it is what it is.
Nah.
And you know, I fuck with Drake. I don't even know the other nominees, but for that to win Best Rap Song, even he knew that was like kind of weird.
Nah, so. It was extremely weird. It was extremely weird, and I mean, it just didn't make it. You know, those, like you said, those people don't have an understanding of the culture. Like, there are artists that are doing real big things and keeping their fan bases engaged and making millions that go unrecognized and unacknowledged by those type of institutions, but still make a great living and are able to provide for their families and, of course, take your bitches and